Hi, I'm Kylie from Thrive Web Design and welcome to our online training series. In this video, we're going to be covering how to crop and compress images to go on your website using a service called PicMonkey. You can find PicMonkey at www.picmonkey.com, PICMONKY. There are a number of reasons why we want to crop and compress images before uploading them to your website. You'll find that photos taken straight from your phone or camera are usually very large, and this is a problem because it makes your website slow to load. A slow loading website is bad because visitors won't hang around to wait for the images to load. They'll jump off the site and they'll go to one of your competitors usually. A slow loading site also impacts your website's ranking in the search engines. On Google in particular, Google wants a really good user experience for visitors to your site. So the faster it loads, the easier it is to use, the better it will rank. And the last reason is the shape of your images. The shape of the images required on your website is quite often different to the shape the photos start as. So we can change that shape, making them from a standard photo ratio to letterbox, or we can even just change them slightly depending on what your website needs. So let's get started. So we click on the Edit a Photo button, which takes us over to the editing window. So in this editing window, we can see we've got some basic controls on the left. This changes the tabs on the side. The only one we'll be using is the basic edit. So if we click on the top, we can see the crop edit. But before we get started with cropping the image, we need to open our image. So if we go to Open New and we select our computer, navigate to the folder where your images are, and in this instance we're editing the Holding Grapes image, and click Open. Might be slightly different on Windows, so just follow the prompts. And we just wait a moment while it loads our image. And from here we can click Crop. So as you can see, we've got a standard sized image that's come from our camera. We click Crop. And at this point, it's got no fixed proportions. So over on the left here, so we can set some dimensions based on some predefined options. Generally for your website though, it will be customized for each of the image locations on your site. So if we click out of that select box and go into actual size, we can change that. So in this example, our image is 1400 by 934 pixels, and we want to scale that photo. So we just click Scale, and then we can set that to cover as much of that screen as we like for those dimensions. Okay, we can also move that image around slightly to position it where we would like. From there, back over to the left and click the green Apply. And you can see our image has been slightly scaled. From there, we can export the image. So that's cropping, that's the first part, and then we export it. So we've got a couple of different quality levels, and the quality matters because it also impacts on the size of the image, the file size. So it looks like these are based on our James Bond characters. So if we go to Roger, we've got low resolution, tiny file size. We can see that it's 136 kilobytes. If we go to Pierce, we can see great resolution, good file size. And we can see the file size is slightly larger at 196 kilobytes. And then if we go up to Sean, we can see that the file size has jumped quite substantially up to 942. So if we go over to Roger and we inspect that image, we can see that there's no noticeable loss of quality. So Roger is fine, and we're at 136 kilobytes. So for this image, we needed to keep it below 150, so we have met that target. So what we do now is export to computer, and we'll just call this one Holding Grapes Compressed. Click Save, and you can see that we've now got a copy of that image in our file size, in our file manager. You can see that the original image was 19 megabytes, which is huge, and our current image now is 140 kilobytes, so that's a much easier size to manage on a website. Okay, that's really all you need to do. So if you've got different ratios that you need to crop it to, for example, say we needed to make that letterbox at 200 pixels high, we could, forgot to scale. We just click the scale so it keeps the ratio. So we can just scale that and then move it and see what might work for that image. Click apply. Now we've got a very fine letterbox format, which we can go through the process of exporting again and saving that to our computer. Thanks for joining me, and that is how we crop and compress an image using the online service PicMonkey.